Guys, when I tell you that this is one of those shows that invokes every emotion that you could possibly conceive, from anger to frustration to sadness, Black Lightning does that. And though I am hyped to talk about this show, it were some really disturbing points, and of course it did hit a few nerves, so I'm ready to talk about it. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Brain, mouth, heart are ready. So get ready. Hey everybody, it's your boy Montel. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day, week, month, year, millennium, weekend. Thank you guys for checking me out. What do you think of the hat? You like my hat? I actually found this and I said, you know what? When I get the chance, I'm going to wear my new chapeau. I try to have a different hat on every time. Thank you again so much for checking me out, guys. Please don't forget to hit me up on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, okay? If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe. Thank you so much to all my new subscribers. You guys, like I said before, y'all are the reason why I enjoy doing what I do, because you like to hear what my opinions are, and I appreciate that. And to my fellow YouTubers out there, it gives me the chance to support you and what you're trying to do. The small ones turn into the big ones, or the small ones have a message. So I want to be on that same track and we continue on the same path, okay? If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, as I said before, and hit that notification bell so you'll find out when I've done a video, okay? And of course, like my videos. Please, 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 please. I enjoy doing that. I'm not gonna lie, I really do enjoy doing that. So we are here, Season 2, Episode 11 of Black Lightning, The Book of Secrets, Chapter 1, Prodigal Son. Wow, there was a lot to really take in this one. This was one of those episodes where it wasn't all straightforward. It went in its own separate direction, so you gotta kind of focus on what's what. But you definitely have some things to digest here, and I definitely have some things to digest. My emotions were on 10 almost the entire time, because a lot of things that were already anticipated. We already know that, of course, Khalil is out of commission because of what Tobias did to him in the previous episode. The implant's been taken out of his spine, so not only is he not able to walk, but we also come in this episode find out that he's dying, because the process that made him painkiller, the toxins are in his body and they're killing him. And we see him in traction in the hospital, and you could just see Jefferson. Now this is what another thing that really tore me up, because you could just see the frustration and the fatigue, and just he looks so tired. Jefferson looks so tired, like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I feel that, brother, too, especially if you have responsibilities to family and friends and community and anything like that. You feel that. And if it feels like it continues to weigh you down and you really don't have any place else to go, but you still have this sense of honor and duty to still fulfill what you're supposed to do, and between the family and trying to get rid of Tobias and trying to be a community leader, plus also just staying true to himself, he is exhausted, and you can see it through the entire episode, and I could definitely feel that. We also find out, of course, Reverend Holt is still being a community activist, trying to consolidate and to bring the community together, because they're also talking about how the community has been torn down. Unfortunately, during his sermon in church, we find out that he died. He had a heart attack during his sermon, courtesy of Cutter. Cutter poisoned his handkerchief, and as he dabbed himself, contact poison got into his system. He had a heart attack and he died. So now we've lost another one. And of course, we know what happened with we know what's happened with Khalil as a result of dealing with Tobias. Tobias is on a tear. When I tell you guys, this is definitely, unfortunately, this is his series right now of episodes where you see him more on top than anybody else. But then this also shows you the grit and determination that the family has, and also the allies with Jefferson are willing to do. So much so that Jefferson has decided to finally give full disclosure to Henderson. Yeah, you heard me. Him and Henderson not only are on the same page, but he has brought him into Team Black Lightning. So he takes him to Gamby's shop and he tells him what's going on. And of course, you know, Henderson he's really skeptical about this whole thing, because all he sees what Jefferson is doing is he's a vigilante, and he's an officer of the law. So you have that's head dynamic. So he says, "Are you down? We share a common enemy. You may come after me as much as you like, but we still got Tobias out here, and he's doing all this stuff. Look at Khalil. Look what happened to Reverend Holt. Why are we sitting there worrying about what I'm doing?" Henderson finally gets on board with it, and he introduces him to, I call it the Lightning Cave, and his reaction was hilarious. First, Jefferson opens it up with the keypad and the eye scanner. He just shakes his head. You see the shoe rack come in and move over. He says, "You gotta be kidding me." It was the most amazing reaction ever. And he goes downstairs into the Lightning Cave, and who does he happen to see? Gamby, the man that he thought was dead. But they get all that hashed out, and now they start coming up with plans, what we gotta do. And it was a pretty slick move of what they did, because they attached a camera to Henderson's tie clip, and they tell him where Tobias is staying. And of course, Henderson goes, and he's looking around, or we think he's there to make a present to let Tobias know, one, that I know who you are, I know what I'm on to you, and we're going to take you down. But the camera is scanning the room to find the safe that the suitcase was in. Now, remember the briefcase that can take that Todd, the code that he broke on that, he broke the security on that. So now he knows where the other pod kids are. Well, he knows they exist. They don't know where they're at. So that was pretty James Bondish. I thought that was real cool, and the man can actually pull it off. I was just like, you were just so bitter about everything. Absolutely. Of course, Cutter comes back. We fast forward to Cutter coming back to Tobias to report in about what happened with the Reverend. And of course, Tobias is doing his own brand of justice, still talking to the painting of his sister. I tell you, that dude's seriously got some issues on this. Marvin Jones plays that role so well. You cannot help but believe that he is Tobias Whale. And during the whole dynamic, we see that there was something that went on between Tobias and Cutter at one point. Hopefully that gets revisited later, because she's a badass, and the way he is with other people, it just never ceases to amaze me. He kind of just dismisses them, you know, like he talks about how black folk need to rise above, and yet he acts like the subjugator to everyone below him. I think is a really funny dynamic if you think about it. But then we go back to the hospital, and Khalil knows he's dying, and it's no secret. And Jennifer is really struggling with this, and she's angry, and she just wants to lash out. Of course, now this may not have anything to do with the storyline, but it definitely has something to do with her state of mind, because she goes out into she has to get out of hospital. She's got to get out there, and her powers have made it so that now she can see the electrical impulses in a person's body, and she can tell from those impulses that he's dying, and it is really taking its toll on her. So she goes to her mother. Her mother, Lynn, is a soldier for real. She knows what she got to do, but she's still about being that mother. And she goes, and Jennifer convinces her to take Khalil and put him in one of the pods. We find out later that wasn't possible because of the toxins in his body, because they have to put a certain chemical in the system to make him susceptible to the treatment that the pods are going to offer, at least the suspended animation. And Jennifer is just frustrated. Simply, this is before she asks her mom. So she goes out, and she's leaning on a car. She's crying. She is in anguish. And this lady comes out of nowhere and thinks that Jennifer's stealing her car. And Jennifer's like, no, I'm not stealing your car. The first thing she does, what does she do? She does a permit patty. Hello, police. Yes, I'm a reportedly trying to steal my car. Yes, she's African American. I think she was trying to steal my car. And she's whispered at everything. And Jen's going, wait, what? Okay. Zap! Kaboom! I didn't destroy your car. That was lightning. You may want to talk to God about that. And this goofy lady actually looked up and started talking to God about her car. I almost fell out. I was like, really? Really? Explain that to the police now. Yeah, you can't say it was a young African woman who shot lightning out of her fingers and blew up your vehicle. So now you got to go for the only excuse that you have. You got to go for God. It was awesome. Oh my goodness. So we also find out that not only does Tobias have the case and they get in the case, they also see video of when Lynn attacked the crazy doctor. I don't even give her a name anymore. I just call her the crazy doctor. So what does he do? He sends Todd, because Tobias still has a lot of people in his pocket. So he's able to somehow get Todd past security to talk to the doctor, take out the I can't even call it an ankle bracelet. It's more like a tracking device inside of her ankle. And now she is working with Tobias, tells Tobias where those pod kids are. So now they're on their way to get the pod kids. Now what's funny is Tobias said one thing that really made me look and go, wait, what? He looked at her and said, you look exactly the same. And she says, so do you. Come to find out that she created an anti-aging agent, basically a youth serum, and they both took it. That's why they still look the way they do. Jace created this, so now Tobias and her they pretty much look like they did when they first took it. So we know where that's coming from. So pieces are starting to pop up in the puzzle, and this show never stops with completing things and showing gaps in the story that you're going to find out the answers to later, which is absolutely phenomenal. So now we see that unholy alliance as they're going for that. And like I said, going back to Jefferson, I've never seen his brother look so tired. This man has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and there was a couple scenes where I looked down and was like, wow, he is just done. And you know what's funny? During all this too, Grace has come out to support Anissa during this whole thing, and I think that's wonderful. I think they make a dynamic couple. Two, it's a great story, because now we're going to hopefully start finding out later what's going on with Grace and her condition, and see how that blends into the storyline as well. Everybody comes back. Of course, Jefferson gets called back to the hospital after they find out the results that the briefcase is no longer there, and then we get the news that Khalil is dying. This young brother made the ultimate sacrifice and was basically given him like a sacrificial lamb. And this speaks to corruption in the police department, which can be overlaid into real life. You have a lot of fantastic police officers and officers of the law who are doing their thing, but you still have those crooked cops and stuff out there who are doing their own thing. We see it all the time, and this show doesn't stray away from revealing and putting it in right there in your face issues that are still considered real life. And that's what I love about this. This isn't a show about superheroes. It's a show about people who happen to have superpowers, however they may have gotten those powers. And I really like this show. This show has always since day one, I've always been excited for Black Lightning. So sorry, off on another tangent. Jen decides to do something really awesome for Khalil because she knows he's dying. She takes him to her secret place, the one that she was taught to whenever she had to get away from reality. And she takes Khalil to her secret place and sets it up like they're going to their prom. And this young man shows the heart and bravery that he has as a human being and as an individual. And he knows he's dying. but all he wants is to have that moment, and Jen gives it to him, and they share that moment, and it makes you sad. It made me sad because these two kids worked so well together. They were amazing together. And just to see this sort of Romeo and Juliet-esque story kind of get ripped apart because he did the right thing and he still got punished for it. And not because because unfortunately, once again, the people that you're supposed to trust betrayed you. And we get to that point, and Khalil dies. So now we already know that Jefferson is on a mission now, and even if you didn't see it in the episode, you could see it on his face. Jen is grief-stricken. Khalil's mom is grief-stricken, but Jen is out for blood now. So now you can see what's going to happen in the next episode, and I'm here to tell you it's going to be a mind-blowing episode. I can tell you right now, emotions are going to be everywhere, and I still enjoyed it. It hurt me to my heart to see Khalil die because he was really a fantastic character. He really was. But this opens doors for other characters to pop up. We still have characters that were introduced that haven't come back yet, but I have a feeling that they're going to bring them back. The Akils are phenomenal with this show, so I have a feeling they're going to be bringing back characters that we've seen and introducing new characters. Now, a lot of people have been saying, well, why don't they introduce characters from the Arrowverse? They've already said this is going to be separate from the Arrowverse, which is fantastic. If they're going to have cameos of heroes from the comics, let them have characters that stand on their own that haven't shown up in the Flash and Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. Let Black Lightning stand on its own, and that's exactly what they're doing. So, wow. You talk about a roller coaster of emotions in this show, but it doesn't disappoint. I cannot wait for next week. Now, I will let you guys know that my schedule has changed. Because Black Lightning comes on Mondays, that Mondays I work both of my jobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my schedule. I'm just going to watch the episode on the CW app and then shoot the video. So I'm still going to get the video out to you on Tuesdays as we've done before. But this was a crazy week for me, and I apologize in advance, but your boy's getting back on track, and we're going to do it like that. Thank you for the response to my B series. You guys really enjoyed this, so I'm going to continue doing that and make that just a glimpse into my heart and my mind, and just impart some of my wisdom, and hopefully it helps some people out, okay? Thank you for checking me out, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. I see these videos coming out more often, and you guys have just blessed me abundantly, and I can't thank you enough. To all my new subscribers, to all my ride or die since day one, to everyone, thank you for checking me out. Thank you for joining me, and as always, I ask you beautiful people to do for me: stay nerdy, stay geeky, and as always, stay sexy. Bye, guys.